Greetings to all from SFS College, Seminary Hills, Nagpur, Counseling Desk. Today, I am going to stress on another topic called anger management. Dear friends, how this theme is relevant today? The theme is relevant because the coronavirus pandemic with its havoc kept our normal daily life and future to the test. We find ourselves immersed in a big pool of negative emotions such as fear, sadness, contempt, and yes, to a great extent anger. Among all these emotions, I stress today only on anger. What do we do with this forceful emotion called anger? How do we deal with it? How do we face it? Can it be managed? How to tame anger for positive outcome? All these questions will be answered under this title. But today, I deal with one of the many healthy aspects of dealing with anger. And I repeat, today I deal only with one of the many healthy aspects of dealing with anger. It is proved that if anger is not channeled, sometimes it becomes as an obstacle for positive growth, very especially when it derails into aggression and violence. So, how do we understand anger? Anger is defined as an emotion directed toward one who inflicts a real or supposed wrong. I repeat, anger is defined as an emotion directed toward one who inflicts a real or supposed wrong. It is sometimes real in the sense that the one has in reality physically or emotionally caused damage. It can be also be an imaginary feeling which is not true in reality, that someone is having a feeling that someone or some are plotting against him or her. Further, dear friends, it is said that anger is morally neither positive nor negative in and of itself. Its effect and manifestation determine its constructive or destructive impact, and hence it has an ethical value. It is the circumstance which decides whether anger is justified or not. Before we get further into the topic, one has to here distinguish between hostility from anger. Hostility means animosity towards someone or something. A hostile state usually means totally destructive in intentions towards others. It is synonymous with unfriendliness, animosity, and warfare. Unlike anger, hostility implies total negative orientation towards others. Thus, anger is different from hostility because not all anger is destructive. Anger has got redemptive value if channeled properly. But people are having a wrong perception about understanding of anger. Anger is generally interpreted by most people as a dangerous emotion, and thus most persons try to evade or ignore it. Here, One needs not to fear about the emotion anger, but instead develop a proper understanding. Proper managing and constructive channeling of anger for happy living one has to learn. Failure to live responsibly with anger can result in costly forms of psychopathology as depression, as explosive physical behavior and alienation. Holy Bible too gives us a tip to handle anger. Very specially, St. Paul to his letter to Ephesians chapter 4 and the letter to the Colossians chapter 3, he describes that anger is not sinful in itself. He goes on to say, be angry, but do not sin. He goes on further saying, do not let the sun go down on your anger. And for this reason, it is certain that if real conflict and anger are ignored, major problems like mistrust, misperception, suspicion, and alienation will develop. That will cause more danger to total personality of oneself or to the society. So, let us get rid of some of the wrong notions of anger. What are these wrong notions? There are three misconceptions govern an inadequate management of anger. Firstly, it is said, the wrong belief that all anger is sinful, which is totally wrong. Secondly, the belief that angry feelings are best managed by ignoring, which is not true at all. Thirdly, wrong belief that the unpleasant or painful feelings such as anger, if ignored, will vanish and not continue to influence relationships, which is also proved wrong. As an answer to all these questions, I can say that modern psychological studies affirm that anger, though having destructive potential, also has positive and redemptive contributions to offer to human relationships. Secondly, the right acknowledgement and expression of anger assists in deepening and developing social relationships. Proper attention to anger can facilitate clarity of relationships and intensify commitments of care and love. Thirdly, unresolved or unexamined anger interferes with the effective exercise of relationships and produces confusion, misunderstanding, and alienation. So, my final advice is to attend to the feeling of anger with proper channel, which in long run will produce good and sincere relationships with one another rather than avoiding anger and living in depressive state. Take care, stay safe, thank you.